Hey ladies, it's Marianne here, and I'm so grateful to have this opportunity to talk with you guys this morning. I am currently walking down the streets of Jamaizi. Jamaizi is the area where the 2020 blast was kind of located and had the most destruction. And it's a location where our base is actually situated. So we're right in the heart of where we do ministry on a daily. The girls are currently on their way to a cafe that is hosting like a community event, and they are hopefully going to meet some people their own age that will build some community for them. So when I get to the cafe, I'm going to give you guys a bit more of an update, but in the meantime, stay tuned. Okay, so Judy sent through a few questions for me to answer. I'm going to do my best to answer all those questions today. And if I don't answer every question that you have, feel free to reach out to us. We still have the same email address, so you can always contact us there. But otherwise, hopefully today I will get to answer all your questions. Something that's quite interesting in Lebanon in general is that there are very clear Muslim neighborhoods and very clear Christian neighborhoods. And so I guess probably any of those who are like familiar with places like Indonesia, there is like a national identity essentially. So you're either Christian or you're Muslim, and Christian doesn't necessarily mean like Christianity like what we have in the West, but like there are different like not just religions, but like I don't know if you've heard of the Druze or like the Maronites. So those are like two of the key like Christian kind of Jesus following ish. I don't even really know how to fully describe it. I'm sure many of you would be able to do it better than me, but then there is also like some like obviously Catholicism throughout Lebanon, and then there's like your Christian population. Your Christian population, like in like the Western sense, Christian population, I would say is quite small. Like the churches here, from what I can tell, are around about like 50 to 100 people on average in the church. And there are plenty of churches for sure. There's plenty of mosques and churches in general. So you're never short of a church. But as far as community goes, I would say everyone's Christian, but not everyone's Christian, I guess would be the answer. But then you have moments like this cafe that I'm in right now is actually run by one of the local churches as an outreach project here, and the workshop that the girls are a part of today with their photo scavenger hunt is actually part of one of their initiatives to provide like opportunities for community to come in, to be able to be Jesus and to share Jesus with people. But yeah, you can share the gospel freely here. That's not a problem. But at the same time, it's like not something that is necessarily like lived out in the same way that we see it in the West. I feel like in most Western cultures, when we think about Christianity, there's certain things that we do withhold from, and our devotion to Christ, and those seem to be a bit more relaxed here in Lebanon, which is quite a cultural shock, to have people be followers of Jesus but still smoke and go out and party. And obviously we have that in Australia, but in the circles that I've been in, it's not common, whereas it's common here. So yeah, so we started going to a church just last week actually that we really liked. It's called City Bible Church, and they were very warm and very lovely to us, and very possible that we'll just keep going back there. It's a smaller church, which we really like, and there are like a couple of home groups that we can be a part of. I think the hardest thing right now is just like finding stuff for the girls because school hasn't started yet. And because international churches are like not very well, there are some, but there's not very much like younger community there. They're mostly the older generation. So yeah, there's not a lot. Or they're like families like with really little kids. So yeah, please be praying. I think that's like one area of prayer. Like if you could be praying for my girls to find community, to find their people, because it has been quite hard for them in this season of transition, mostly because of relationships that they've given up to be here, but also because they haven't developed any new relationships. So yeah, in saying that though, the team has been amazing in adopting them. Yeah, and I think there's many things that the girls are enjoying. Like they're finding like all these really cool bakeries to eat breakfast at or lunch at, which is really cool. And Alicia especially is always looking for like the bargain, you know. So she came home. She's like, "Mom, there's a bakery around the corner from us, and it's only 100 lira for za'atar and cheese bread, which is like one of the local cuisines here." It's like a standard breakfast bread basically. And so yeah, the girls are like really embracing that part of things. And I think even Alicia's been learning like French for a little while through school, and now being able to use her French here. So there's those aspects of like, oh, like I enjoy being here, but then there's those moments of like, but I miss my friends, and so do I. Like I think we all as a family, like we're moving past our honeymoon stage and we're moving into the reality of what it means to have relocated our whole lives to another country. So yeah, so yes, the short answer is that there is a community of believers here, and it is easy to share the gospel here, but also it looks different to the way it would in Australia or America at this point in time. Okay, so we just stopped to grab some lunch, ladies, but now I'm back, and this video is gonna feel a bit odd because I'm chopping and changing, but I just want to show you a little bit of our day. So the girls did their photojournalism, they did photo scavenger hunt, sorry. And then we just got some lunch. We were walking back to the car and we saw a bit of a bazaar, and this is the lovely lady that made lunch for us. Okay, so I had to find a quiet place because the market can be quite loud. But to answer the question, what does ministry look like? Well, in just a few weeks' time, I think 5 actually, we will be starting our School of Missions, which I will help staff here in Beirut. It is the first time this location is running this school, and it's a school that like I did 2 years ago and then last year that I staffed. And it's really exciting. We currently have 17 students, and some of the places these guys are from are Lebanon and Egypt, as well as Brazil and Germany and the USA. So I think there's a few other nations as well, but those are the ones that I can mention. And it's really exciting to have the opportunity to train young people. Most of these people are under the age of 25, so it's very exciting. And yeah, we will teach them what it means to be in missions in an Arab nation, which is something I will be learning as well, along with the students, but also what does missions look like in the past, and what does it look like in the present, and what could it look like in the future. So it's just such a great opportunity to train and to mobilize, which is a huge part of why I'm here. Apart from that, I'm definitely going to be language learning. So I start my classes yesterday, and then I will continue to do that over the next 2 years. And it's learning the language is so much about learning also how to be in the culture. So language and culture go hand in hand. So I'm very excited to be doing that. As far as like a long-term core, we're not really certain yet. We still need to meet with the base directors and with some of the leaders here and just talk with them and hear from them what they have on their heart, and to see if any of that sits with any of the giftings and the things that God's spoken before. But we really are here to serve, and already I can see a lot of that will be discipleship and just mentoring young people. You know, the staff here are quite young. Would you believe I am the eldest of the staff here? And it's a little bit wild to think of that. But they're quite young, and they are really hungry to grow in their relationship with Jesus and know what it means to be called to missions long term. And so really excited to be able to do that. And the team here is amazing, and I'm so grateful to be able to work with them. So so I'm going to move on to the next location, show you around, and then I'll answer the next question. Okay, to answer the next question, I'm actually going to head to the store and get some stuff. But on the way there, I'm going to answer. And so the question that Judy had was, did the girls get into school and all of that? So for those who don't know, there was a little bit of an issue with getting Alicia into school potentially because she was homeschooled, and there was actually just like a whole process that needed to happen that involved in going to the Australian Embassy, also involved going to Foreign Affairs Office, and then to the Ministry of Education here in Lebanon. And anyways, it was this big deal that actually we just saw so much of God's provision and God's just going before us. And long story short, definitely saw God's favor, and so both the girls will be going to school in just a couple of weeks' time. So we're very excited for that, and very happy to be able to see God doing those miracles during this time. So I'm going to show you some of our neighborhood and where we live, and hope you enjoy. This is the street that we live on. This is actually our building here. We actually live on the top floor. Okay, so I'm heading home now, but before I go home, I have one more stop. I'm going to be getting some mixed grill from one of the local barbecue places. So let's check that out together.
Hello, hello my love, hello guys, hello girls. I wait you here in my restaurant, okay?
Okay.
You are welcome, always.
Okay, so I have dinner and I'm heading home, and it's just a short walk, so why don't you walk with me and see where we live. Okay, so we're going to show you what we got from the restaurant and let you know how much we paid for it. So let's have a look. So what do we got, Jay?
Some sauce, get some garlic because that's my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Nice tasty. Okay.
And then this is a mixed platter. So it has 3 skewers of meat like you would have seen in the store, side of chips and pickles. Pickles are huge here. So what do we got there? We got 1 chicken, 1 beef, and 1 kofta, which is also beef, but like beef mince with some herbs in it. So, yep. And what are we gonna make, Alicia?
Sandwiches. But sandwiches, not bread and bread. Sandwiches with wraps.
So sandwiches here are not like the Australian sandwiches. They are wraps pretty much, and it's essentially the staple meal for lunch and dinner here. It often is like either beef or chicken. Some places you can get lamb. You will most definitely not get pork because there is Muslim culture here. Pork is harder to find, but you can still get some pork. So yeah, so we're gonna make some sandwiches and we'll show you what we have made before we eat it. And then I will finish with just some prayer points and ways that you can be thinking of us as we continue to transition and to start ministry. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the video so far. Okay, look at that. So on there I have lebna, which is kind of like if sour cream and cream cheese had a baby, that's what you'd have. I have some garlic sauce, some lettuce, some tomato, onions, and then a mix of those 3 meats, and all on a flatbread to wrap up. So that's my dinner. So when we choose to eat at home and we come up with creative ways to eat, and we can keep our budget quite low. Normally we're probably spending around about $3 to $4 each, depending what we eat, depending where we go. So tonight the mixed grill alone was 1.1 million lira, which is roughly about 11 to 12 US dollars. So that's actually quite a lot, but thankfully we had some things at home already. But that, as you can see, is around about $3 each. We have, I think the cheapest we've been able to get dinner for so far is like a chicken sandwich made by someone else, and I think they're around about 190 per sandwich. Sorry, I always say 190, but really what that translates to is around about $2 per person, roughly $2 to $2.50 per person. So, and that's all US dollar. So yeah, so we try to keep our budget to $3 per meal per person. Sometimes that's possible, sometimes that's not, but that's part of what we're still navigating in this culture, is how can we eat, where can we eat, and still get balanced meals, but also some variety. So we go grocery shopping. We found a grocery store, which has been helpful, but yeah, just making sure that we get the right meat from the right places to keep the budget low. Dairy and things like that are really expensive here. Anything that comes from an animal is quite expensive actually. So yeah, that's just part of getting used to a new area though, in any nation, is just finding out where the locals eat. So yeah, that's what we're still figuring out, is where do the locals eat and how can we eat on a low budget and still get all our dietary needs met. So yeah, anyways, as I said, I will finish up this video just maybe with a quick tour of our home. It is getting closer to dark, so hopefully we can show you our home in a minute after we eat, and then finish with some prayer points like I said. Thanks, and talk to you.
Hi ladies, let's have a tour of our house. We've got the bathroom here that me and JL share, with a bath and shower and toilet and sink. And then down the hallway we have my room, which has the big bed. We all have ACs in our room, which is amazing. Then in here we have JL's room, which has 2 beds, which is good because then we can have a guest over. And this can either be the guest room, and we can bring a mattress in the other one, or I can stay in here. Mine becomes the guest room. And then we have laundry room, which has, I think, the same size bed, or slightly bigger than my room. And then just our bathroom over here, toilet, sink, shower. And then our view out the window is the opposite end to the other balcony, so it's the other side of the building, which is great. And then lots of cupboards everywhere. And then we have the kitchen. This is another guest bathroom. It's just a small toilet and sink, nothing much, but it's there. And then we have our kitchen and our cleaning closet area. That's in the bottom for that. We've got our water filtered water, because we can't drink from the tap. Our fridge, lots of other cupboards, microwave, all the kitchen stuff. And then we have our laundry outside. We have a dryer and a washing machine. And then we have, we can go through here maybe. Through this door, there's 2 doors. Our dining area, which has 5 chairs. It should have 6, but one of them broke when we got the house, so we have 5, but that's fine because we only need 3. We have some plants spotted around the house and a sign, and then this is our living room space, and then the balcony is there, but we have lots of room, a big table, and a big TV. So there's lots of space here, and then this giant area. And we also have this plant, which was given to us, which is Mum's baby, but I think that's about it. And then all of this everywhere.
Thank you, Alicia.
Bye.
I hope you enjoyed that tour. That was very challenging for Alicia. She prefers to be behind the camera, not in front. So you probably noticed that she was a little awkward, especially towards the end there. But I'm really grateful that she was willing to help show you our home. And can we just say we are really grateful for this home, and we're very grateful for having the opportunity to have a place where we can be hospitable and where we can host people, and especially want to invite you, if you want to come to Lebanon and visit us, you have a bed in our home, a room even in our home, if you want to come. So please come visit. But yeah, we just are so grateful. I think there's a couple of things that I do want to ask for prayer for, but before I do that, I just want to be thankful for a few things, and I think leading up to being here, there was a great miracle that was required, and God met us, and he hasn't stopped meeting us since we landed. He's kept us safe. We had a car accident a couple of weeks ago, and yet we are all safe, and we needed big miracles with the education, but God provided the peaceable person each step of the way, and the process was much smoother than what was communicated to us, and even the principal was very surprised. And this is such a great testimony, not just to my girls, not just to us as a family, but just to everyone who's walked with us, of God being able to do the impossible and to make the rough places smooth. In Isaiah it talks about, prepare the way of the Lord, and there's this talking of in the prophecy where it says, and he will lower all the mountains and raise all the valleys and make all the rough places smooth. And if I take off my human hat, along the way, we've really seen God do that. He is really, there have been obstacles that should have been impossible for us, but God just step by step has made a way, and we're very grateful for that. And very grateful that the girls can go to school. Very grateful for the team that's here. This team has just embraced us, and we're so grateful. My friends who came here a year ago, they've actually been on holiday back in the United States, and they get back next week. So we've done this journey not knowing anyone when we arrived, but I feel so close to everyone already, and I think that's just a great testimony of this team and just their love and their hospitality, but also just the goodness of God to provide us with a team that would do that for us. So yeah, I'm really grateful for that. To finish, I would just like to invite you ladies into praying for us in probably 3 different ways. I think the first way would just be ongoing protection. As I said, we were involved in a car accident. It was a minor car accident, but it did involve my friend's car needing to be repaired, and thankfully we were all very safe. It was just really sad that the driver drove off, and so then it's made us financially responsible. So yeah, I would really appreciate protection. And that protection, I think, is not just like a physical protection, but just a protection over our calling here and over the things that God has for us here. And we really believe that God has been doing that. But obviously, when things like this happen, it also steals from the provision that God has given. And yeah, we really want to be faithful with what God has provided. And we've tried to plan and prepare as much as we can. And like everything in life, some things are just unavoidable and unpredictable. And so, yeah, we really need God to do that as well, just to provide for things that we didn't plan for, which he's able to, and we're so grateful. The first one would be protection, as I said. The second would just be also we are trusting to buy our own car. And with that comes the need to raise finances again, which is something that I was hoping we wouldn't need to do for a little while. But with the current economy here, but also the Australian dollar weakening, it's just been really unpredictable as to how much things are going to cost, and just how much we can save and things like that too. But it's really evident that we need a car. We were going to try and do public transport, because we were under the impression that maybe it would just be a couple of dollars each day, but it turns out that the most reliable source of transport here is Uber, but you have to bid with Uber, and so you might offer the driver something, but unlike in Australia, the driver can bid your taxi fare higher, and so we've had to pay anywhere from $4 per trip, so that's like $8 per day to up to $12, even $15 per day sometimes. So that's just not long-term feasible, and a car would be much cheaper than that over the 2 years that we're here, and if God calls us longer, of course it would work out even more affordable. So yeah, please pray just for wisdom and discernment, and obviously we also need the finances for that, so just praying that God would also give wisdom as to how to raise that finance. I am looking into ways that maybe I can I don't know, do like English tutoring or something like that, but because we're just new here, it's pretty hard just to find that rhythm right now, but it will probably be more feasible to try and find something that I can do a couple of hours a week to help supplement some of our finances, if we're not able to see the rest of our finances raised from sponsoring or partnerships, as we like to call it. So yeah, please keep praying for that. And then I think the girls are going back to school in a couple of weeks, and I would just really appreciate prayer over that. It would be really great for Alicia especially. She's a bit nervous about going back. If I'm really honest, she really doesn't want to go back into a school system. She would rather be homeschooled, and I totally understand why with her experience with school so far, and she's so close to finishing school as well. But it's just not possible for me to be able to homeschool her still. So please pray for both the girls as they transition into a new school. It is an older school. It's a school that fits within our budget. So it is smaller, it is older, and it's not like an Australian school. So it's a huge adjustment just on a visual level, let alone the actual curriculum being different. And the school is concerned that they might not be able to keep up with the mathematics program here, and not because neither of them are good at math, but because the way they do math here is different. So I'm also going to need to get them a tutor to help catch them up to the way that they do math here. So yeah, there's just so much still that I feel like I'm carrying, and would just really appreciate your prayers and just encouragement during this time. And so yeah, that's pretty much all that I have for you this morning. But I do want to say I love you all very much, and I hope that this video has been a blessing to you. And if you want to keep up with what we're doing, please feel free. If you are on social media, we're trying to post on our social media regularly, and then we will be, while we're here, doing 3 monthly, so once a quarter we will do a newsletter. Obviously I will send something through to Rangeful for October as well, for their newsletter, or the booklet that they put together for missionaries that they're supporting. So I will definitely be doing something there. But I'm also happy to do phone calls, or if you want to grab my number, please feel free to grab it off of Judy or Julia. And you can email me as well. Maybe they can have something there, if they haven't already, for you guys to be able to reach out to me personally. We're really relational people. I should probably speak for myself at this point. I'm a very relational person, so I will do my best to keep up with the emails or the phone calls and text messages. But yeah, please reach out and let me know what you want to know, because otherwise you get a 45-minute video with, well, whatever you got today. But anyways, I hope that you enjoyed it. And I'm really grateful for the questions that Judy sent through. And I hope you guys really appreciate Judy. She's amazing. And I just want to give a very warm acknowledgement towards her, and just her love for me and support for me during this season too. Thanks, Judy. You're amazing. And bless you guys. And I'll hopefully talk to you again soon. I'm going to go now, but see you next time.